Welcome to TRADEREP. This is Short Hammer. It is the 1st of October 2019, and we are taking a look at Tesla. Now, today Tesla did catch a nice bounce, and we pushed to the upside. We seemingly are pushing back up to test this 248 area, and the last few tests in this 248 by 252 area, it seems that we've found supply. So when we've pushed up, here's a test, 248 upper wicks. Not a single one of these have closed above this 248 area. So this is interesting to me. We'll see what we do tomorrow, but it seems that when we get up near this 248 by 252 supply demand zone, that there is more supply than demand, and we've come back down. I drew this quick trend line just as a reference point for me to see if this holds up again when we test this area, or if the demand will be strong enough to push us above. So this is more of a reference point. It's not really a long-term trend like this one is. This is just more of a reference point. So we'll see what we do tomorrow. Let's take a look. This is from the daily chart. Let's take a look at the lower time frame. I do like that we caught a bit when we pulled back to this supply demand zone. We pierced it and bought back up, tested it, and the buyer stepped in. So let's take a look at the lower time frame to see what we have going on there. Now we're looking at the Tesla 5-minute. And we're looking back on Monday. So on Monday, we did move to the downside, and we bounced around the 236s, pushed up and closed. It looks like roughly around the 240 whole dollar, roughly in that area. But what we see is we opened today, pulled down, and went through the main intraday pivot here at 240.30, but we held the quarterly pivot at 239.32. So let's see, pull back to this area roughly, and kind of chopped around. It looked like a little bit. Buyer stepped in, and the squeeze was on right around noontime, right around lunch. Closed up here. So what I'll be watching for tomorrow is a potential pullback, maybe to this 242 area, or even better, this 243.26, which is the main intraday pivot. We'll see if that holds, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a pullback down here around 242, and I would look for buyers to step in on a pierce of this to this level and a buy back up. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, but I'll be watching for a trend on Tesla. And the area I'll be watching for, my target on Tesla, if I get a long entry, will be right up here around this 248 area. The reason being is that we have yet to close above that 248 point. And so what I'm figuring for tomorrow is if we do buy up and squeeze into this point, one of two things are going to happen. Either we're going to reject here at the 248, or we're going to see significant volume come in because buyers know this is a really rough area with a heavy supply, and they're going to push us hard to get through here to hold and close up in this area for the next day to push up. So we'll see if that happens, but that's what I'm looking for on Tesla, a pullback to the 242.80s to 243 line, and from this area between 243 what is this 20s to the 242, what is this, 242.70s or 80s, and then buyers step in. We'll see what the market is doing tomorrow, and if because Tesla's funny. Tesla sometimes will follow the flow of the market, and sometimes it will not. It'll move counter to the market. So we'll see what tomorrow is on Tesla, but we'll be able to find out pretty soon if we're going to be trending, and if Tesla is going to be, from the first few candles, if we pull back into here and the buyer step in strong and push us above and we break above this 245, then I'm targeting the 248s. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, but that's my plan for Tesla. Being very careful if we do pull back here and I get long, if I get long here and we run, because two things could happen. We could pull back below here and we go back here, supply takes over, and then we head down here. Or we come down here, buyers step in, and they push us. We break the previous day's high, and then we push up, hit this pivot, pull back, then leg through into the 248s. And then I'll be cautious to be out of my my positions and wait to see if we break above and hold to leg or if we fade.